the inventors were never the straight A child. The iPads, the games, they're designed to get the children addicted to them.
What all comes under holistic well-being for kids?
So basically,
If we go on empowering our kids, saying positive things and being mindful of how they're handling their day, we'll be growing these little manifestors. They'll be manifesting so big things in their life.
yeah, I mean, look, when we come under mindfulness for children, it's about a positive mindset ultimately. Work on rewards, not punishments.
Kids are struggling through that phase of, being so addictive to their socials.
Oh, it's getting worse and worse. It's an addiction.
It's not about how much marks they get. It's not about how much academic results they score. That doesn't reflect them.
We want children to believe in themselves, even if they're failing at everything. What's that one thing in the day that they did that we can say, that was amazing, you're so good?
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Stories That Matter, where conversations aren't just heard, they are felt. I'm here with Jane Elizabeth, who is a holistic wellness coach and meditation instructor, and she brings with her warmth, wisdom, and real tools that reflects in every interaction she does with the clients. And today she's here with us to dive deep into mindful parenting. If your child is struggling with low confidence and joy, or as a parent, you're looking for good holistic parental tips, then this episode is right for you. So let's jump right in and welcome Jane to our show. Hi, Jane. Welcome to Stories That Matter. It's so lovely to have you here today.
It's so amazing to be here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favourite topic, mini manifestors. I love it.
Let's jump in right
Yeah.
to the aspect of holistic well-being for kids.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on that? What all key areas come under holistic wellness for kids,
Yeah.
apart from just, academic development skills for kids?
Yeah.
What all comes under holistic well-being for kids?
Yeah. So basically, this is just my favourite topic ever. Not
Okay.
only is it something that I've learned through studying, I've worked with children, but I've also experienced it firsthand with my son. So there's like three elements to bring this together.
Okay.
And I think that when we come under mindfulness for children, it's about a positive mindset ultimately, positive reinforcement. It's down to you as a parent how far you want to go with it. It can be very basic positive reinforcement, or we can go into breathing techniques. We can go into meditations.
Okay.
We can go into gratitude. It's down to you how far you want to go with it.
Yeah.
But most important is our subconscious mind is the most powerful, part of our body. And what our subconscious mind hears, it believes.
True.
It doesn't know when we're saying, I'm not good at this or I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
It believes it.
True.
Yeah. So we have to start at the beginning with the subconscious mind and programming a positive mindset.
When a kid is around, 0 to 7 years of age, that's called a theta brainwave state where they are in, and they are so quick in absorbing from the
Like a
environment,
sponge.
like they're
Like
like
a
a sponge.
sponge.
They're absorbing everything from the environment around.
Yeah.
At that subtle age where you are just absorbing information from here, where, and what key strategies parents can use to reinforce positive mindset and develop that side of, and develop that, beliefs
That
which are
belief
strong,
system.
which stay with you for your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what sort of strategies you would like to share with the parents?
Yeah, I think this is so super important, and everything you've said there is it's 100% correct. That is the age where we're programming our subconscious that then has our belief system for the rest of our life, unless we have to get to, like I did, 30, and you've got to do all the work on yourself.
Yeah.
So I think also it's important that the subconscious mind can hear things in the background, even if you're not especially listening. So any negative conversations in the background should always be kept away from the child. That's the first thing. Any conversations about results or nurseries or anything, never have them in front of the children.
Yeah.
Okay. It's important to work on rewards, not punishments. Children will thrive off attention, whether that's attention for good behaviour, and if they're not getting it for good behaviour, they will get attention for bad behaviour. And when you start punishing the child and saying negative comments, we're all guilty of it. You know what it's like when you've had a really frustrating day and the child is just like crazy. But we have to end the day on what we can find out of the day that was positive. What can we be grateful from out of the day?
Yeah.
And using, and I'll go into that later on, but using positive affirmations. So saying, I am capable, I can read, I can start using the potty, I can, I am, I will.
I recently read somewhere where they say I am is actually such a powerful statement. Such a powerful statement that the more you say, it's like you are giving a command to the universe.
Correct.
And you are saying, and actually universe is acting like a genie for us. And whatever you say, I am, it's going to give it to you.
100%.
Yeah, so that is so powerful.
So
reinforcing those kind of statements at that early age.
Yeah.
Develop that positive, mindset.
Yeah.
And it's very true, like in today's environment where, the kids are, they don't get time with the parents, right?
No.
The parents are busy in their corporate hours, and they're coming back home, and what they have is like, a little bit of time with their parents, and they're struggling to get that balance out there. And even I'm sure like kids also would be, having that craving to spend time with their parents.
Yes.
And it's so important that whatever time we have, instead of feeling guilty about it, that we are not able to spend time with our kids, what's more important is for us to realize that whatever time we get, whether it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we actually try to develop that sort of bond with them.
Yeah.
A
bond and a quality time, and make it special.
And it should be like, even if it's like 5 minutes in a day or 10 minutes in a day or 15 minutes in a day, it should be like well-defined, quality time with your kids.
Time.
It's all about having that connection with your kids more than, buying things for your kids, more than even spending for your kids here, there. It's more like, I feel like kids crave for that time.
Oh, yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. And they will do it through being good, and they'll do it through being naughty. They will crave that attention one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I think, and especially from my own experience, and obviously working with parents and children as well and seeing it, it's such a beautiful connection to be able to have when you start with mindfulness and the holistic approach to bringing children up. We've got to look for the positive in everything, no matter, like I was saying before, however bad the day has been, we have to find the most positive that we go to sleep on a night that you did good at today.
Yeah.
And it's a tougher world now. We've got to bring children up to have life skills. We know we've got to be academic and all those things, but we've still got to bring children up and prepare them for real life. And having a positive mindset, believing in themselves is key to success.
What sort of activities they can incorporate during that quality time?
During that quality time, there is so many things. I could go on forever about this, so I'll limit it to my best and most successful.
Okay.
I think as well, depending on the age, storytelling on a night, when we have a bedtime story, we can kind of change this story a little bit and do a little bit of meditation before we go to sleep, and incorporate breathing techniques. Just to explain that when we do the breathing techniques, this regulates our heartbeat. And it brings more oxygen into our brain. By doing so, we're regulating the body's emotions, and we're also able to focus better. Okay, so I would suggest one activity is before going to bed, saying, just take a nice deep breath in, imagine your belly filling up like a balloon, and exhale through your mouth. And just do a nice breathe in, feel your belly like a balloon, and exhale, and just let them gently relax. And then tell a story that's relevant to their life. It might be that they're nervous about starting school. So imagine that you're all in your uniform. You're walking into the school. Everybody is smiling at you. You've made new friends. You feel so confident. And do that a couple of nights that week so they've got this vision in their mind that the first day of school is going to be amazing, and that overcomes the fear. Then the child is in a positive state, we've raised a frequency there, and we start attracting, like attracts like. We can also do gratitude. The more we are grateful, the more we will be brought to be grateful for. So we can make a gratitude jar, okay?
Lovely.
And just write down, whether the child is old enough to write it themselves or we write it, what one thing can you be grateful for today? And this is especially important on the bad days. Okay, the good days are great, but when we've had a bad day and, we've got in trouble and all let's think, what can we be grateful for today? The cozy bed that you've got to sleep in tonight, the family that you've got, the pet that you've got, and then just put it into the jar and let this jar grow. And then maybe in the future on a bad day, we can sit down together and go through all of these things that we found to be grateful for.
So the gratitude jar is meant for both sides, right? The parents also filling in what they're thankful for, and the kid also, filling in what they are thankful for.
Yeah, so it's something that you're kind of doing together. And
that creates a connection as well, right? With your kids.
Correct, yeah. And you can do a similar kind of activity on a morning. Look, we all know I really do remember the days. Getting the shoes on my son before I got to work was the biggest task ever. He wouldn't even put his shoes on. He'd fling them across the room. I'm not going to school. So I get those days.
Okay.
But if we can try to get up, say 10 minutes earlier than we usually would to allow for anything that might happen in that rushed morning, to just have 5 minutes, do some breathing exercises together, and just kind of say, right, so whatever's ahead today, whether it's going to summer camp for the first time, whether it's a difficult day or exams, just close your eyes, breathe in, feel your belly expanding like a balloon, and just imagine now that you're walking into the summer camp and everybody is friendly, or you're walking into the exams and all the information just comes to you. You are amazing. You are powerful. And start the day off like that. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that 5 minutes can have such an effect on both of your days, really.
Beautiful way to start your day.
Yeah.
I loved your thought.
Yeah. If I can just give an example as well, this is a real story from about my son, and he was particularly he wasn't really bad, but he always got in trouble at school. He was always mischievous and causing a bit of havoc.
Okay.
And then he heard about the prefect program.
Okay.
And he was like, I need to be a prefect. He heard that you got to go in the staff room, you got a glass of orange and a cake on a Friday. You were like patrolling the playground, and he was so adamant he was going to be a prefect. And I'm like, how can I tell him he has got no chance of being a prefect? I can't. He was too excited. He'd printed the application form off, given the teacher a copy of it. So I thought, okay, I ain't going to knock this guy off his little mission here. He was about 7 at the time.
Okay.
So when he was going to sleep, like I was telling you earlier, I did the breathing exercises, and I used to get him to visualize. And he told me what he was visualizing as well. And as he saw it, he was sat in assembly. They were calling out the names of the prefects. His name gets called. His teacher looks at him as he stands up. And we did this 2 or 3 times a night. Okay. But whilst he was doing this, and this is important with manifesting, he also took action. It's not just about manifesting. You've got to take action as well and take those steps. So he changed his behaviour at school because he wanted this. He believed he was a prefect already. So his attitude changed, and the teacher saw that his attitude changed. So it's not just about magic, it's about you've got to put the work into it as well.
Yeah.
So he got noticed for anyway. The school obviously decided that this was a carrot dangler for the end of the year. And on the day, Callum sat in assembly. His name got called out as last one. His name got called out. He stood up. His teacher smiled at him as he walked on, and he said, "Mum, I can't believe it. It happened just as we've been visualizing."
So beautifully you have said that manifestation is not a magic.
No.
And it's not something you'll just sit over it and then you'll say that it's so magically the things will, or your dreams will come out.
You've
It's
got
all
to
about
take the
taking
action.
It's all about taking the action along with your visions and visualizations and affirmations, right?
Correct.
I
Yeah.
think that it's a blend of everything. If you want your manifestations to work,
Yeah.
I think it's blend of everything. You need to be action oriented. Plus,
Correct.
you need to visualize. You need to believe that you can do it. I think in
Yes.
your son's case, it worked because he so wanted that incentive of having that piece of cake in the canteen.
Yeah. He was
And
just like,
then
"I'm going to be in the staff
wanted to be
room. I'll hear
prefect
what
for
all the
those
teachers
reasons.
are saying."
he wanted to be prefect for those mischievous, cute little reasons. He believed in it.
Oh, he
I
believed
think
in
he
it.
believed. And
But it took the steps to change. So it wasn't just still misbehaving and manifesting or belief, it was taking the action steps to go, right, this is me now. I can be good. I can be, respectful and all those things.
you made him believe through your nighttime routine.
Yeah.
You made him believe the fact that he can be. And actually, that belief became so strong, he acted on it, and then he was rewarded to be the prefect in the school.
Yeah.
So I really love that story.
Yeah, no, it's
Thanks for sharing.
No, it's fine. And another thing that we can do with our children as well is with positive reinforcement, because it's you know what, I'll tell you this as well. My mum used to say to me as a child, because I always used to talk about driving. I wanted to drive, wanted to have a car. When I'm 17, I'll start my lessons. And she used to say, "You will never be able to drive. You will not be able to drive. You'll have an accident. You're not capable of driving," because that was her fear, and she passed her fear on to me because she couldn't drive, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't support me when I got to 17. There was no allowance to be able to start my driving lessons or anything. It was just, "No, you're not driving. It's too dangerous." Still to this day, I cannot drive.
Seriously?
Seriously. I didn't even piece this together till when I got into manifestation and the power of the subconscious mind. I didn't piece it together. It's not till you start doing the work on yourself that you realise. And she didn't necessarily say it every day to me, but it was said to me. And in that age, in my subconscious mind, if I get in, but I think a car's coming into me, it's created a huge fear. So by telling people you can't do something, or you're passing your fear onto them. So even if it's something that you don't always approve or want your child to do, we still have to talk positively.
It's your fears, it's your beliefs. It's not your kids' beliefs. Kids are so gentle, and they are like a sponge. They can absorb anything, any information you say to them, they'll start believing. And that's why, as we mentioned before, that the age is so critical, and what you feed into your kids is gonna define them for whole life. And your story also tells us it's not possible to overcome those, but you really need to work hard.
You've got to work hard on it. You've got to work so hard on it. And I've worked so hard on. I've had to talk to myself loads, and say, look, it's taken me work to get rid of all these other fears and anxieties. So I've heard myself with my son, and replaced it very quickly with a positive version of whatever I've said. I've replaced that and got him to, another thing that you can do, when I advise parents to do, that when I work with parents and children, is to create affirmation cards and draw it. So what does that look like to you? So if you believe a child has a particular negative statement in a hobby that they're doing, or with schoolwork, or with friendship, let's create a positive statement from what that negative statement is that I can't do. I don't think that I'm capable. let them write the statement, I am, I can, okay? And then turn it over and draw what that looks like. So they can draw anything. It can be scribbles, it can be a line, it can be the sunshine, it can be friends, it can be a certificate. And then on a morning, that's another beautiful thing you can do together. You can pick your they've created this.
Affirmations, their own affirmations.
Their own
In
affirmations.
a creative way.
It's something so special to them because they've created it and
From the heart.
from the heart. And I've had parents say to me that when the children have been, working with me, and because I actually do art healing as well. So we've created these affirmations in the sessions with me. And then parents have said, Jane, they've woken up and the first thing they're doing is looking at the affirmation card that they've made.
So it's like a bunch of cards they created from their heart.
Yeah.
And they look into it every day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful thing to do.
Yeah. And all these little things that we've spoken about, if you combine them together, you start to see how we're creating an abundance of a positive mindset. All these bits throughout the day are creating us to believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
We want children to believe in themselves, even if they're failing at everything. What's that one thing in the day that they did that we can say, that was amazing, you're so good?
So what if your kids fail,
Yes.
So what if they make mistakes?
Yeah.
So what? It's okay.
Yeah.
Because as parents, it's our responsibility, to nurture them. Even if they made mistakes, it's our responsibility to guide them on the right direction.
Yeah.
And we as a humans, we can make mistakes. And kids are like little, the tiny toddlers. They can, even if they make mistakes, it's okay. It's okay if they fail. It's okay if they, make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it actually becomes our responsibility as a parents to teach them, to nurture them, and to grow them so that they, even if it's a mistake, they learn from their lessons.
Yeah.
And they try to, mold themselves as a better person or a better version of themselves.
Correct.
By implementing those, mistakes and their learning experiences. So I have that thought. I had that thought in my mind that it's more towards developing your kids as a winners. They should see themselves as a
winner regardless.
From their eyes. Like, it's not about how much marks they get. It's not about how much academic results they score. That doesn't reflect them.
No.
They don't reflect. It's all about the mindset they carry, the beliefs they carry, the personality they carry, and with what positive mindset they are going out in the world is what they are creating for themselves. For me, it's like, it's not about winning on paper through academic results. It's about winning in their eyes. They should win from their own eyes. So it's so important to have or to inculcate that sort of mindset for kids. And if we go on that, path of empowering our kids, saying positive things and being mindful of how they are handling their day, I think we'll be growing these little manifestors. They'll be manifesting so big things in their life.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know how super important it is to get the grades and get a degree and all those things. I get it. We all get it. We know how difficult and tough the world is. However, as in my so there's two Janes, this spiritual Jane and this corporate Jane. In my corporate days, I was a sales manager of a team of people, and I obviously used to interview people. And to be quite honest, think about it. As somebody who is interviewing, somebody who comes through the door with charisma, with belief in the self and positivity, and carries themselves well and is able to feel confident and act as if they've already got the job, is sat in front of you, okay, and they might not have just hit the marks, And then you've got somebody who comes through who's got all the grades but doesn't say much to you. I ask you the question, who are you going to employ? If you want to be a doctor or a vet, yes, you've got to get those grades. I get it.
Correct.
I'm just being generic in. If we can't, there are alternatives. And that's to do with believing in yourself, and I can do anything I put my mind to.
Kids are so insecure of their skills, they are insecure of their appearance, and they are insecure about their talents and skills and their appearance. See, that's where the teens are struggling nowadays. I think that's the piece we need to, deal in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are your views about it? Like, for the kids who are having those sort of insecurities around, their peer circles.
Yeah. This is huge. I mean, I've gone through this with clients, and I'll go through this with my own son and his friends, I think if we've done like the work in the beginning, okay, and with mindfulness, we have a better chance of dealing with all these issues. If we haven't been aware of the holistic mindfulness raising children, then we really have some work to do. I won't go off on a tangent, but social media is horrific for this, because girls are actually changing how they look on an app before they post a picture of themselves. I mean, the insecurities, the
huge,
huge, absolutely huge. So I think, again, mindfulness is the only solution for this.
They need to accept for who they are. They need to accept the way they are.
Yeah, part of what I do for teen meditations is about embracing uniqueness. So when teenagers are fairly deep after doing the breathing and deep in meditation, I kind of talk to the subconscious mind, saying I embrace my uniqueness. I don't want to be like everybody else. I am unique. I have my own superpower. I am powerful, because we aren't all here to look the same and be the same. We have to embrace that child's uniqueness, And if they have, we have to, really takes a lot of, and digital detox.
Yeah, I want to touch base. That's something which kids, not just kids, we as an adults also need to go through a lot of digital detox.
Yeah.
And I think if you can highlight what digital detox means and what that process can be for kids and adults.
Well, I think that the first thing is telling a teenager they can't do something is the most, we're never going to win with that one. You can't have your foot. That's going down the negative road. We have to get them to come to this as a decision that they've made themselves, and explain the reasons that we're going to do a digital detox.
It's important to inform them. That's what you said.
And
it's
then
important to inform
of the reasoning behind it, that you're getting programmed. Do teenagers actually, I'd love to know the answer. Do teenagers actually know that they are being programmed by these apps? Do they actually know that it knows exactly what you're looking? Explain all this, and then and then I think we have to enforce, look, hand your phone over before you go to bed, because content gets terrible. What they look at, they feel bad. They feel bad about themselves, and I would encourage teenagers to do mindfulness, meditation, manifesting, learning about things like that in teenage years before exams. Instead of saying you better do good at these exams, you better be revising, you better be doing your homework, etc., etc. How about, look, if you can do an extra hour, then you can do this at the weekend. So even as a teenager, positive reinforcement, not forcing them in the bedroom to do all the work. It's like, look, if you can just do an extra hour at the weekend, I'll take you and your friends to, somewhere to go for tea or what have you. And still use that and not put the pressure on. Instead of putting the pressure on for exams, which I've had children coming to me that have been physically throwing up, they can't sleep, they've got anxiety because they're under so much pressure for the exams results. And we want to take that pressure off, because, it's not
worth, right? Yeah. It's not worth kids having that much of stress and fear around exams. That's a common thing. Like, I've heard of kids, committing suicide even after scoring 99%.
I know.
Because they could not score 100%.
Yeah.
Led them to, commit things like drastic steps like suicide.
Yeah.
That's really, it's just not the right way.
It's just not the right way, is it?
Yeah.
And if we change the approach slowly and kind of go, right, again, let's go back to mini manifestors or teenage manifestation.
Yeah.
It's not magic, okay?
Yeah.
But what if let's just go the grade above whatever they got in the mock exams. Okay, instead of going, you've got to go from here to here. That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But let's just go the grade above. Okay, and let's visualize you opening up your email with your grades in and seeing the grades physically there, feel the grades that you've got, and actually visualizing that those of what you've received. Then you're working with the subconscious mind, and then you're believing it because you've actually just visualized that I'm going to get these grades. But in order to do that, I have to do 2 hours extra revising. There's no pressure. Just do 2 hours more revising.
Yeah.
And visualize the grade that you're going to get. And, it depends how far you want to go. You can almost go as far as, when you sat down before your exam, because some people's minds go blank. Some children's minds go blank when they're just in this pressurized setting of all these tables and your life depends on this one. Which is not
thing,
true.
Right? Yeah.
It's not true.
True.
And just say, take 5 deep breaths, sit there. Close your eyes, just take 5 deep breaths and just allow all the information to flow with ease. So much you will get better results than you better come out with an A.
It's actually a big responsibility on us
Oh,
as
my
parents
goodness.
to shape our kids, to
Yeah.
mold our kids, and to let them grow the way
Yeah.
they are supposed to grow, and to
Yeah.
nurture them so that they can actually show their uniqueness
The
to the world.
uniqueness.
That's what, like, if they are not sure on themselves and they feel they are not good enough, that is
Yeah.
gonna be shown to their that's gonna reflect
Despite
their
what the
work.
grades are,
Yeah.
the
grades will not mean anything if your kid is from inside, he's sad, he's anxious, he's scared to even face the world. What's the point of those grades? So it's my request to the parents, other parents, that look for the ways where your kid becomes sound in all aspects of their life.
Yeah.
Social, emotional, physical. And as they say, it's all about like being, all these factors come together.
They do 100%. And I mean, I have battled, and for any parents out there that have got children who are academically clever, don't punish yourself either, because that can happen in reverse. You can sometimes feel like you're failing as a parent, blah, blah, blah. But there are other life skills that we can focus on, and let's not make the child feel bad about. I've battled with this at home, so a lot of what I'm saying, I have to remind myself that when I'm dealing with my son as well. But I think that it would be great to get the message out for teenagers that if you're doing your best and trying your best, then that's all I expect of you.
Yeah.
If you can do an extra hour, let's reward that. Let's think about how we can make it exciting. Look, if you do pass, but we can't, what's the phrase? You can't put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
You can't force that. The pressure is just immense.
Yeah, true.
And to explore meditation, because we can energy. Our emotions are made up of energy. Everything is made up of energy, okay?
Yeah.
And our emotions are made up of energy.
Yeah.
So we can actually, knowing that our emotions are made up of energy and our teenagers' emotions are made up of energy, perhaps attend some meditation classes or some breathwork classes when it comes close to exams.
Yeah.
And be supportive. Another thing I just wanted to touch on as well is bringing it into children who are playing sports. Visualize it. It doesn't matter if you don't come first. It's not an issue. But visualize scoring the goal. Visualize getting the highest grades in gymnastics. See them holding the sign up, and do it through visualization rather than this. You need to be doing this, that, and the other.
Visualization plays a very important role.
So much so than being told off for not getting what you should do. And for teenagers and the stress coming up to examination, please explore breathing techniques, yoga, Pilates, all these things all contribute to a positive mindset.
Kids are struggling through that phase of, being so addictive to their socials to their social platforms
Oh,
out
it's
there.
getting
Yeah,
worse and worse.
because we know how algorithms work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're pre-programming our children.
And they're giving that dopamine hit to our kids.
Yeah.
And because of that, and kids are not able to come out of that loop, irrespective of how much we say to our kids, it's not good to watch screen, it's not good to be so addictive to your socials. If we talk in that way, they will not listen us, as you
Not at all.
mentioned. They don't.
It's an addiction.
It's an
The
addiction.
iPads, the games, they're designed to get the children addicted to them. How much,
Yeah.
the games are designed to get as much screen time out of the child as possible.
When it comes to their social addictions and to the gaming addiction,
Yeah.
huge chunk of their hours goes into that. And
Well-
they are not working on themselves in a holistic way. They are not going out for a
Correct.
walk. They are not going out for some sunshine. They are not mixing up with their family. They are not
Correct.
working. They are not sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things where kids, or you can say teens, are struggling on.
Yes.
And if you have some tips on how they can go through that digital detox,
Yeah.
so I would love to know.
Right.
your
Okay.
side.
So I mean, the addiction to the screens now we're starting at a young age. Before we get to teenagers, we've got the kids on the iPads, etc. So some really good things to do is have a routine, especially like on a weekend. That it's not normal to just go for your iPad and do 4 hours stretch on it first thing on a Saturday morning. Okay, we're going for a walk. That's going to be the routine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many times because consistency is key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
So we'll go for a walk, right? And then once they're out of the door, they've forgotten about the iPad, by the way, and the phone. And then we're going to get into the present moment. Okay, so just close your eyes. And it could be a reward that they get for how many things they again, let's do positive reinforcement. It could make it into a game, and close your eyes. What do you sense? Is it the sun shining down on your skin? Is it a breeze against your face? What can you hear? Can you hear the birds, the trees? And get the children to become aware of being in the present moment. Okay? I would think about hobbies that aren't necessarily too competitive, or if we're not at that age, but just maybe going to like these children's yoga classes now.
Yeah.
And anything that doesn't involve screens.
Sports.
Yeah.
Is a good way.
Getting into sports. Music.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And thinking and making that a routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually embedding these things into their routine.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It was much more of a battle in teens, but we still have to follow this through in the teens years because it gets stronger. But we would never, I would rather have my son disrupting me through my conversation with my husband and friends at a restaurant and taking the attention or having a paddy or dealing with it than I would giving him an iPad. I know we've all done it. I'm not saying I've never done it. I'm just saying that we have to go back to basics. And then if you do that earlier on, it's easier to keep going through the teenage years. If we haven't done that, we've got computers in a bedroom, PlayStation in a bedroom, phones in a bedroom, right? Let's face it. As soon as you've gone to sleep, half of the children are getting back up and going on the computers, seeing content that we don't want them to see, that we're not in control of. I mean, I once thought I'd put parental control on the iPad to find out that one of the apps, I won't mention which app, one of the apps isn't included in the parental controls that you put on the iPad. So they were still able,
Yeah.
So I think we have to think outside the box a little bit of what we've got to constantly think of digital detox, no matter how hard it is in our working lives when we're busy and we're going to work and we've got to come up with other solutions, and being in the present moment is fantastic to start that off.
That's a great point to start with.
And cooking.
Yeah, cooking.
Yeah. Setting the table. And if you do, little setting mini goals, if you just put the knives and forks out and then put the plate out, and being involved in routine, let them be in charge of, if you've got a pet, give them the responsibility of the pet. So, you've got to make sure that there's a spoon of food in the or watered down for the animal, and just give them some responsibility so they feel important.
Yeah, in fact, it's good you shared this one because it's so important to inculcate that accountability and responsibility at that
Yes.
stage
Yes.
and within the kids.
Yes.
Yeah. And it actually, once they are accountable and responsible for the things we have asked them to do, and it actually empowers them that and gives them the confidence.
Yes.
These tiny little, tasks
Yeah.
can build up their confidence, right?
Yeah, it builds up confidence, keeps you connected, keeps you off being on the computer while you're cooking tea. That's the easiest thing
Yeah.
that can happen, and we're all guilty of it. I always said I'd never put my child in front of the TV, and how grateful are we of the TV. But
Yeah.
as times have evolved, the TV only used to be 4 channels when I was younger. We're just exposed to so much more now.
Whole responsibility lies with the parents, how they are shaping their kids, how they are nurturing, how they are, devising the whole routine for the kids so that they are able to, make good use of their time and get through out of that digital mode and be more present in the moment, enjoying the nature, enjoying the breeze. So as you rightly said, it's not just about focusing on the academic results, but what
There's so
matters
much
is,
more
there's so much more to it. What we need to focus on is on the holistic side of
because
the things.
that's what goes at.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, yes, you need a degree.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be, but not every job requires a degree, right?
Yeah.
You can't say to a child that's not able to get through these exams because that's not. Some of the genius, my son used to spiel this off to me, the geniuses have been the one. He used to tell me this all the time when he was younger. Yeah, did you know that Steve Jobs got kicked out of school? And who is it? Who's got the
Jobs, even Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Yeah, I used to say they all got kicked out of school. So the inventors were never the straight A child.
True. They had that unique talent in there.
Yeah, because they've got
Yeah.
we can't just write kids off because they've been defined by a letter on a piece of paper. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it would be good if we call our kids as a winners the way they are.
Yeah.
Not in terms of being academic performance, but more on how they see themselves.
Yeah.
They should call themselves as the winners.
Yeah.
Winners.
Find something that they
fighting.
can do.
Yeah. I think if they see themselves from that eyes of being a winner, and believing that they can be the winners in the world when they go out or when they step out, I think that's where the whole game change.
100% it is.
I think, and that whole responsibility lies with us as a parents to inculcate the right beliefs, with the right, mindful practices, positive mindsets, affirmations, and being gratitude for your life. So these are the core values which gonna define them in long run.
Yeah. And we're all human. We all have those days where we say that the child's driven us beyond our limits, and we say a load of negative stuff. Of course we're going to do. We're not always going to go, oh, this is okay, sit down, let's talk about it. But if we can just do that a couple of times a week, but the importance of being in the present moment, going for a walk, noticing the ants and the snails and the birds and all the different animals that you can see, the butterflies. Look at how beautiful, what colour the wings are.
The depths of the things. It makes you feel present and grounded to the movement.
Because as we get older, and I don't know if you can understand this, we either spend so much time worrying about the future or worrying about something we've just done or said or feeling guilty from something in the past, that we hardly ever spend any time enjoying the present moment. And if we do, we're on our social media because now we need social media to get clients. So how much time do we spend in the present moment? We've spent time today in the present moment.
I agree. I want you to share one piece of advice for the parents who are starting their journey of parenting.
Okay, so the first bit of advice I'd say is there's no right or wrong way. Okay, it's just a way.
Yeah.
So don't put pressure on, am I doing it right or wrong? Because it's just a way. See it like that. And there's many articles available on the internet and YouTube. But again, you're not doing the digital detox. It's bringing you back into a computer. So I would perhaps look up some meditation classes and start with meditation. There's many books on Amazon that you can get that is an introduction to mindfulness and to think about like children's yoga from an early age, mother and children's yoga, even prenatal yoga, and perhaps start somewhere like that.
Thank you, Jane. Thanks for coming to our show. Thanks for sharing the beautiful thoughts behind the parenting.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, parents who are listening to this show right now. Do remember your kids are the future generation, and we as a parents have the responsibility to raise them in a way which is holistic. It's not just about academic results, it's about their emotional development, it's all about their social development, and it's all about, raising them in a way that their beliefs are strong, their passion is strong, and they're working hard and consistently. So all lies on us. Thank you for watching this show. Much love to all.